Hey, hey, hey! You know what day it is? What day is it? It's Tuesday Tea with D. Come on, Tuesday Tea with D. Come on, Tuesday Tea with D. Come on, Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. You know, Tuesday Tea with D. Come on, Tuesday Tea with D. Come on, Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Hey, boo, hey, it's your girl, Detra Trueheart, your life purpose generator, purpose provoker, your personal life coach, here with another weekly dose and serving of Tuesday Tea with D. And I am back with a new mug. Shout out to my girl, Farrah Macklin. She hosted an event over the weekend that I was one of the speakers of called Tea Worth Spilling. And honey, we spilled all the tea. It was so good. And this was one of the gifts. And then I've got like the little stirrer in there. Child, how cute is that? Look at that. So I have this with my little D, and so of course y'all know I am a sucker for mugs, right? And I'm actually thinking about getting my own little Tuesday Tea with D mug, so I can have my own little tea mug for my own little show. You know how they do on the shows, y'all. So I've been thinking about that. What y'all think? But at any rate, I just wanted to give a shout out to Farrah for my cute little D mug for Tuesday Tea with D. And the tea that I'm having, shoot, I forgot. I think it's one of my loose teas, and I think it is my honey ginger. Shoot, I know it's honey ginger, and I think it's my honey ginger white tea mixture, and so it's good. Let's just say that, right? What else we got going on? So last couple of days, my little person has been home sick. The asthma child has been trying to, I think it's just a change of the weather. And so y'all keep my little person in prayer. You keep his mama in prayer. Just to make sure I am strengthened and I can, do what I need to do to take care of my little mini. And then what else we got going on? Oh, this week's tea is brought to you by the iSpeaklife Inner Circle. I know I have not been talking about that in a couple of weeks, but the goal is to enroll and welcome 100 new women into the Inner Circle this year. And so if you have been looking for community, if you've been looking for mentorship, this is the space specifically for me, right? Mentorship for me. This is the space that you want to be in. God is shifting actually what we do and how we do it. And he's been really talking to me about equipping his daughters for the kingdom. And so even though we meet twice a month, there's some other things that God has been talking to me about. And so you can get more information at iSpeaklifeInnerCircle.com, iSpeaklifeInnerCircle.com. It's $47 a month. It's $470 for the year. I tell people to go with the $470. You save 2 months and you just kind of set the payment for the year. You don't have to worry about making sure the money is in there every month. But also, I think if you're looking for accountability, if you're looking for community, if you're looking for support, safe space, that's the place that you want to be, right? And for people who are not ready for one-on-one coaching, I normally send them to my inner circle so that they can kind of get acclimated to me. And if they, want to get even closer than like Tuesday Tea with D and some of my lives and all that kind of stuff, like that's like the next step after private coaching. Cause I always talk about private coaching is the best thing, but if you can't do private coaching, then you want to be in the inner circle. So with that being said, go to iSpeaklifeInnerCircle.com, enroll. And like I said, there's some fun things that we're looking to do this year, actually in person and even just within the virtual community. So just make sure you're plugged in and bring your girlfriends too, because we want her right involved in the inner circle. So let's get started with today's conversation. Today's conversation is called Current Me versus Future Me. Current Me versus Future Me. And really where this comes from is specifically, how you see the memes or the posts that say, do something that your future self will thank you for, in a year or 6 months, right? Like a year from now, your future me is going to thank you for what you're doing now. And I started to really think about what about current me? Like, what are we doing where current me can be thankful, where current me can be appreciated, where we can be present, right? And I want to make sure I pull my notes up so that I don't forget anything. But I really want to make sure that we are having this conversation, because a lot of times, even when we say it's not about the destination but the journey. But I feel like when we talk about future me is like the destination, and we don't talk about the journey, right? Or we don't even talk about the steps that we need to be making now as current me, right? And so what is it that you need to be doing for current me? What do you need to be doing to make sure that current me is healthy as a future me, right? And I think I say here, I feel like we should absolutely show up for future me, but I think that we should be intentional about how we care and show up for current me. Let me say that again. I feel like we should absolutely show up for future me, but I think we should be intentional about how we care and show up for current me, right? And so I think that that's important, simply because a lot of times we spend a lot of time focusing on future me, right? But how can we be intentional about, caring for and showing up for current me, right? In this present state, right where we are, right? And one of the things that I even talked about specifically is in my notes is this idea where, and I won't talk a lot about it here, but this idea around little me, or there's been a lot of conversation around doing the inner child healing. And at some point, we want to make sure that we're showing up, so that making sure that how we show up is a safe space for little me, right? There is some of us, many of us have gone through certain things, which we call, again, like the inner child wounds, so that we have to do inner child healing. And so while we're, sometimes the work that you're doing to get to future me has to start not only with current me, but dealing with little me. And so don't get so caught up in trying to get to a place that you forget to be present where you are, right? Let's do the work. Let's do the healing for little me, inner me, so that she or he feels safe even in this current place, right? Because sometimes the work that we're doing now is because the 5 and the 7 and the 10-year-old self didn't feel safe, didn't feel affirmed, didn't feel appreciated. And so how can we make time now, right? How can we make time now, so that all of our decisions are based on focusing, on, and I won't say all of our decisions. Let me take that back. Not all of our decisions, but the decisions that we're making. Yes, we want future me to be like the baddest, right, that there ever was, because she is, okay? But but in this space now, how can you appreciate? How can you love on? How can you spend time on? How can you show up for current me in this current space? What are the things that you could be taking care of and tending to, right? What does current me need? When you ask, and I give journal prompts every single week for Tuesday Tea with D. That's what I do. I'm your coach. What does current me need? Right? For you and from others, from you and from others. What does I want you to ask yourself that question. What does current me need from me? But also, what does current me need from others? Right? Because what you need now definitely will be different, because current me and future me are two different people. They're the same, but they're not, right? You're stepping into her. It's kind of like, when you first start a business and then you step into being, let's just say a 6-figure business and then a 7-figure business. One of the things that a lot of the coaches that I follow and I've worked with say, like, they're two different people. The mindsets are different, how you address it, and how certain things, like the questions that you ask yourself at one level, are different at another level. And so what questions do you need to be asking yourself at the current me level, that will help get to the future me level, right? And so yes, the things that you do now will be things that future me will thank you for, but let's not spend so much time thinking about future me that we negate and we neglect current me. Right? Are you aware and clear on what that looks like as it relates to what it feels like as it relates to what current me needs? What do you need in this time, in this space right now? And my reason for asking this is because I think, again, we spend so much time trying to get to future me that, not only do we negate, we don't even acknowledge. We don't acknowledge her. And so, yes, at some point you'll have what you desire in your life, in your business, and your family, and all of that. But what about like right now? What are you grateful for right now? What are you doing right now that you're excited about? I had a conversation with a one-on-one coaching client, and one of the things that we talked about was, we were doing some mindset work, and so whereas the focus has always, to some extent, been on the focus of like negativity and trauma and sometimes seeing the bad before you can see the good, I started to, even when we talk about just mindset and reframing, and how we think about certain things, I asked her to think about what it looks like. What does joy look like for her, right? What are the things that make her joyful? What are the things that bring her peace? What are the things that excite her? And how can she put herself in a frame of mind to expect that and look for that and focus on that, in the now season, right? And so, for you, I want to ask, how are you stewarding your current me? Because ultimately, future me wants to know that you took care of current me. You don't want to wait till you get to future me to start taking care of you, because as the thoughts say, the things that you do now, the thoughts that you think now, literally result, like who you will become in 6 months, who you will become in 12 months, who you will become in 2 years and 5 years, is a result of who you are and what you're doing now. And so let's focus on taking care of her now. Let's focus on tending to current me now. Let's tend to seeing what current me needs, right? Because again, what current me needs is going to be totally different than what future me needs. And yes, like my biz bestie, she and I have a conversation around, like, sometimes when we have to make decisions, it's like, okay, what will wealthy Detra say? Right? What will CEO Detra say? What will, 6 and 7 figure Detra say? Like, what are the things? So sometimes you have to channel that in a way and speak it in a way where you're already stepping into, right? Speaking those things that be not as though they are. I get it. Like all of those things. I'm not saying not to do that, because sometimes you need to, right? But not to the extent that you negate where you are right now, that you're so focused on getting there that you're missing everything right now, that you're missing this opportunity to be present, that you're missing this opportunity to take in everything that's happening right now, right? And so let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. So I asked this question, right? And it says, and this is at the beginning of my notes, I say, we talk about future me, but what about present me, which is current me? And I say, how do I need to be present for present me or current me, right? How do I need to be present for current me? How do you need to be present for her or him, depending upon who's watching? How do you need to be present? What do you need to be focusing on? I know for me, it's important in this stage that there are certain things that I know God is calling me to, and I need to be present. And so I've been walking consistently. I've been being more intentional with drinking my water, like literally taking care of my temple in this current space, not waiting until, right? Sometimes we're waiting until, don't wait until you get the house. Don't wait until you get the raise. Don't wait until you get the promotion. Don't wait until you get the husband or the wife. Don't wait until you get the children. Like, what are you doing? What does current me need? What does current me need now? So that when you do get all of that other kind of stuff, it's literally a supplement to the work that you've already been doing. That's really all I got. Like, I don't want us to get so caught up in that we miss this. Right? Don't get so caught, like, yes, it's there. Yes, you want a vision cast. Yes, you want to have your vision board. Yes, you want to do all of that. But you still want to be healing, right? Little me, you want to be healing present me, so that when you show up as future me, she's healed, she's whole, she's complete, she's lacking nothing. And let me just tell you that at that point, future me will then be current me, and there will be another future me, right, that you'll be working toward. And so you'll have to do this work all over again. And so take some time to kind of map out like what that looks like. And again, if you need support, book a 90-minute strategy call. I didn't talk about that today, but you're more than welcome to book a call with me. I do have spots available for 3 and 6 month coaching. I do still have spots available for my 90-minute strategy sessions. And those, you literally don't have to have a conversation with me. You can book them, schedule your appointment, and then we can get to work. My 3 to 6 month coaching, I do schedule appointments by application only because I want to make sure that we are a fit for one another, that you're a fit for my program, right? And you may not be. And so I may have to have a conversation. I need to have a conversation with you so that I can determine whether or not we are a good fit for another, and specifically if you are a good fit for one-on-one coaching with me. So with that being said, today's tea is, I feel like it's short and sweet, but it's to the point. I gave you some things to think about, some things to ponder, some questions to journal about, because I do not want you to get caught out here focusing so much on future me, that while you're working toward future me, that you're neglecting current me and present me, that you're not present in this moment, that you're not present in what you're experiencing. You're not present in is not a word, y'all. That's like when we say the man and the woman of God. I crack myself up. So it's, it's the work that you're doing right in this moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I see it. Yes, it's there. Yes, right? Like, yes, that's what I'm working toward. But in the process of that, like, can I be proud of myself in this moment? Can I like love on current me, right? Can I not just like, oh, current me sucks, I can't wait to get to future me? No, we're not doing that. Like, there's no judgment. There's no condemnation here. We're doing grace here because, and yes, y'all know I challenge, I snatch up edges and all that kind of stuff. But we're not doing judgment and condemnation, right? So if the Holy Spirit convicts you because you know that there are things that you're supposed to be doing, that's totally different. But the reality is that we are all works in progress. And so being works in progress, let's work on current me, right? Let's love on current me. Let's affirm current me. Let's encourage and cheer on current me, right? So that when we get to future me, we're able to step in that space in a way that feels good to us, right? And in a way that we're supposed to. So if this tea has been good for you, please let me know. Always remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you like, comment, and share. I always love the comments. I go back and read them. Sometimes it might be a week or so before I get to them, but I always go back and look at the comments because I love what you share. I love how what I'm sharing resonates with you. And again, make sure you share this with someone, right? People don't necessarily, it's not like Facebook or TikTok or other things. And some of them I don't think you need anymore. Like you used to, for some of the pages, you needed to actually have like Facebook or Twitter or whatever in order to see a specific person's post. But for YouTube, you don't. You can send someone this link. They can watch it. They can comment. They can post. They can share it with someone else. And so just make sure you're sharing, right? Because I just believe that these messages, that more people need to hear them and more people need to be sharing them, so that we can be doing the work to get out of our own way, so that we can stop settling and show up for others in the same way that we show up for ourselves, right? And so one of the ways that you get out of your own way, one of the ways that you're positioning yourself to show up for yourself is to make sure that you're showing up for current me, present me, right now me. Don't neglect her or him. Don't negate her or him. And make sure that, you are doing the work. Okay. So I think that's it. I really think that's it. Make sure that you go get some information and you join the inner circle. Go to iSpeaklifeinnercircle.com. iSpeaklifeinnercircle.com. If you have questions, feel free to email me. Feel free to message me. But it's a pretty no-brainer. I will say that website is going to be getting updated soon because kind of the direction that God has me in is going to shift. But child, it's me. I'm there, and God is going to be there. It's going to be good. And so just join us in the inner circle. So thank you for joining me this week for another dose and serving of Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D.